Good morning. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my very first attempt at a demonstration of my creative process for one of my pages, which will be in my DLP 2015. So that's the original Documented Life Project 2015, and it's going to be my Doodle page, but I'm going to be doing it with some bloom sprays. I think they're called bloom sprays. Hang on, what are they called? Let's see. I'm in my solarium right now. So, color blooms. That's what they're called. They're called color blooms, not bloom sprays. I was introduced to the... Oh, I just went really, really dark, didn't I? Yeah, there you go. Okay, the reason I'm looking off to the side like this is because that's where the screen is, but this is where the camera is. Okay, because I'm taping it on my iPad. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so here's what I've done so far. I've put in, this is my big Dilutions journal, and I've put some deli paper, not jelly paper, but deli paper between my pages to protect the pages underneath. And I've also put down, to protect the table, I've put down some tissue paper. All right? So now I'm going to show you the different colors that I'm going to be using. So in my colors, I'm going to be using Sorbet, Deep Teal, I've just had a bit of a mishap there, Emerald, Peony, Boysenberry, Cobalt, and Summer Sky. So these are the colors that I will be using, and I will also be using a baby wipe to blend the colors together and try to give it a soft effect. Obviously, as you all know, color blooms are not permanent, so I'm going to be spraying over the top of that with some airbrush medium. Hopefully that will set them enough so that I can then doodle on top, and when I'm doodling I'm not going to be moving things around, and because the challenge this week is to let our doodles be our top layer and to let the other layers underneath just work with the doodles. Alright, so I'll be right back. Alright, so I've rigged a setup where I can actually, hopefully, tape what I'm doing and then show you my process. So, let's start. You have to really take up. Okay, so I'm starting with the Sorbet. So you really have to shake them up and prime. There's a couple of colors there. A couple of spritzes of that. Now I'm going to go with, whoop, there you go, the Peony. That there. Now, Boysenberry. This is one of the new colors of Color Bloom. It just came out, and it's really potent. So you don't need much. You just need a couple of sprays. Oops, this one. Gotta keep working it until you can hear that ball. And I'm going to be using Summer Sky. Summer Sky. Baby wipe. Those are my first colors. So I'm going to go in with the baby wipe and try to blend these out until I get the kind of background that I want. See, and because they're not permanent, I can move them with the baby wipe. I really like this boysenberry color. Now, I am mixing them together, but I'm going kind of up and sideways. Same thing on this side. And we want to come in with a little more boysenberry here. And I'm going to work that in, but I want just a bit more of the sorbet as well. Yeah, just a little more vibrant. those together. Now if you wait too long, they're not going to move as much, but you can still move them. See, you can still move these around. Now I learned this little technique from Jamie Doherty. She uses colored blooms. I'm going to put just a bit more of the peony up here. And don't forget, I still have 3 more colors that I want to use. I want to use the cobalt. I also want to use the deep teal and the emerald. So we're going to go in now with a bit of the cobalt. I'm going to stand to do this so that, and you really have to prime them. Oh, that cobalt is somewhat potent. So let me just work this in. See, and because it's doodling, I don't really mind that I'm getting some of these splashes of color. So I'm going to work that in as well. Oh yeah, see this? Yeah. All right, let's go with the emerald. Now, emerald I will spray and let it go where it will. I actually have to come in with a bit more sorbet afterwards because so what I don't want is I don't want any of the original paper showing through. So I want to work all of this in. Oops, and I just put my hand in my sorbet spray. And now one of the other new colors that I have, the deep teal. Shake that up. And see right in here. See what that gives. And up there. And I may want to spray just a bit more sorbet. There we go. And I'm going to take a new baby wipe. The other one's just a little, got just a bit too much color. If I can get it to come out of the box. There we go. And work this teal in. And just move it around. The teal. See, and because I'm allowing it to set just a bit between the colors, I'm not getting mud, but I am getting, and also because I'm basically using colors that blend well together. I want just a bit more sorbet in this little corner here. And I'll pass that in. And I find this area here is just a little dark. So I may go in either with sorbet or I'm thinking, what if I went in with peony up here, yeah. And maybe up in this corner, a little more of that blue sky, yeah. All right, so, let's see if I've got a clean little spot here, yeah. Clean little spot here. And I may want to come in, whoop, I always take the tag off, put a cobalt there, because I do want some of that color, some of that cobalt, some of that deep, rich color. And I think I may want a bit of boysenberry right there. Okay, so that is the background that I will be working on. Now what I need to decide is, am I going to use my micron pens? Am I going to be using my pit pens? I need something that's going to be permanent, but I also need to spray the top of this. All of this needs to be sprayed over the top with some airbrush medium, and hopefully that will get it to sit, that will get it to stay, but we shall see. I'll be back. Okay, so what you're watching now is what's left of the video that I did not edit out, of the whole step of me using airbrush medium with a mister to seal everything down. Now the mister clogged, so when I was using it, it did make globs all over my page, and I used a paintbrush to smooth everything out. And you'll see that in a minute. Now, if you want to see someone using airbrush medium to seal things down, go over to my friend Cece's YouTube channel over at Creations CC, and you will see somebody who knows what she's doing with airbrush medium. Alright, so enjoy the rest of the video. Right, so I've spared you all of the drying time, and I used my heat tool and I dried everything. And I've got this beautiful stamp from Stampin' Up, and it's a swallowtail butterfly, which I'm going to be putting on my page as the focal point. And to do that, I've got it on my Fiskars stamp mount, and I'm going to be using jet black archival ink. So I'm going to, this is the first time I'm using this stamp, so I'm going to have to ink it up nice and good, and hopefully I will get a nice, clear, clean impression of this beautiful butterfly. So I'm not going to talk much while I'm inking up. Actually I am, because I always talk much. I'm sorry if I'm shaking the table because of my inking up this stamp. Probably is going to look like an earthquake because I've got my iPad set up, like I've jerry-rigged myself a setup on my tripod. That's my camera tripod, so pretty stable. But because I'm on the kitchen table, because I can't get down to my studio, going up and down, it's just too much for me. I'm getting over some surgery, and I'm off work for 3 months, so I'm catching up on all of my projects. Maybe I'll be able to show you some of those. So I'm going to stamp it contrary to what I would normally do, which would be to stamp it going this way towards the inside of the page. Well, I could actually do that. But I really do want to stamp it flying this way. So let's see, hopefully I get a good impression. And again, I'm sorry if I'm shaking you. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good! I like that. Now, I may color it in, I may not, I may just leave it like that. But I'm going to be doodling. And when I doodle, I don't know what I'm going to be using yet. I've taken out some of my pens. Actually, I've taken out all of my pens. You can see these. These are the graphic. In here, I've got my Micron, I've got my Pitt pens. In here, I've got all kinds of stuff in here. I've got my Posca pen, my Posca paint marker. I've got, what are these? These are the Bic markets. I've also got a whole set of Pitt Big Brush Artist pens. Not so sure I'm going to use those. And I've also got some Sharpie fine points. I may start with those and then see. So I'll be back. I've got to make a decision, so I'll be back. Okay, so for my first video, I made a really big boo-boo, a big mistake. I forgot to film a section of the video, which is the entire, and I mean entire, doodling section, the entire process. But when you see the doodles, you'll see it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to figure out what I did. I'll tell you what I used. I used these Pitt pens by Faber-Castell because they have, I think it's 8 different nibs. So they were really, really fun. They were great to use. And I also used my Sharpie paint pen. And I used this little one, which is the ultra fine tip. And that's what I used to do my line work, my white line work on the doodles. So I promise in my next ones, I will have my entire process, hopefully, and I will try to keep them to under 30 minutes. If you have any criticism, if you have any suggestions or ideas, let me know. Like I say, I'm new to this. I'm still trying to figure out how to work my editing. I'm using iMovie. I'm not sure I enjoy it, not sure I like it. It's still, on the iPad it's one thing, on my iMac it's something else.
So enjoy the rest of the process. What you're going to see is me pointing out where I did the white line work. All right? Enjoy. Well, thought I was done, but apparently I wasn't. So what did I do? I added some more little flowers at the bottom here. And I went in with the white pen, the white marker again. And just because I thought the bottom was just not filled enough, so I put in a couple more little rose shapes, more little flower shapes. And I put some highlights on my poppies. But I did leave my sunflower the way it was, and I finally decided that, you know, that butterfly didn't need anything else. Oops. But I see here, this flower, I didn't do the white pen. And you know what? I'm going to put it in. So, I'm going to put it in after, and then when you see the final shots, I think I will take pictures. All right? Have an artful week, guys. Bye.